Hi, Connie.
Hi, Ron.
How was your day? How was your
It
day?
was a day.
It was a day.
It was a day. It started off beautiful with lots of lovely scenery in Santarem, up at the top of the small mountain, large hill. And then we started our trip down. Unfortunately, on the way out was, well, again, it was beautiful, but it was lots of foliage on a steep decline and a mossy rock I stepped on and twisted my knee a little, tweaked it, and it got progressively worse throughout the day. But it was not bad at the time, and we hiked for, I don't know, quite a while through little country roads and small village and stuff, and then we got off onto, well, wait, what was next? We had to climb up to a little village that this is the first point that my knee had affected me enough that Ron was there well before me. He had found a little cafe and ordered me a Coke Zero and was sitting there waiting. And then we took off from there, and then it got really interesting. We got onto some little farm trails that there's been a lot of rain here. Let's just say there's been a lot of rain recently and lots of flooding. Some of the trails are closed. This one was not closed, but perhaps should have been. We were on these trails for, I don't know, hour and a half, something like that, where each and every step you were taking your life in your hands. It was so slippery, muddy, and like quicksand. Sometimes I'd take a step and my whole foot would sink in, and then I'd go trying to pull my shoe out of it. My shoes were completely covered, and it was quite dangerous. There were deep tractor tire ruts, and so you had to pick your path all the way through, and there really was not a good path. We came out muddy, but not, well, no new injury, and neither of us fell down, so we managed to get through the gauntlet and continue on. And then we were on some still muddy roads, but nothing compared to what that was. We walked 15.6 miles today, is that what it was?
I had 16 something on mine.
16 something, okay. So 16-ish miles today, and they were not easy miles, and the place we were staying was not on the trail, so we had to take a little detour out around, and at the end of the day, Ron I was so far behind him, limping, because as I came through the mud, my knee just kept getting worse, and the only way I could take a step forward was by using my walking stick to put all the pressure on it, so I didn't have to lift my foot as much to go forward. And yeah, so he had to wait for an hour or something for me to arrive, and then he took my pack for the rest of the thing so I could limp in with just the poles. We're staying at a nice nice hotel out on the country road, couple kilometers from the town. And
Azinhaga.
Yeah, and so we had a nice dinner here, and now it's not even 8, and we are looking for bed, because like I said, it was a long, tiring day.
Was. It was a long, tiring day. And I don't know which is worst, being slow for an hour or sitting down and stoving up. Like all your legs start to cramp up and you have to get up and move around just because the pain starts to build as you're just sitting there folded with your knees folded. So it was a good day. We did bump into a couple of Germans, a mother and daughter, I'd say about our age, maybe a little older. And kind of wondered if they were German because they were carrying Deuter bags. But I even actually asked her as I went by her on the way down the hill. I said, Deutsch? And she kind of looked at me funny. And later on that day, she was moving the same kind of pace we were at that time. And I talked to them, and they're only going to go to Porto. They started out in Villa Franca de Zero. This was on their second day on the trail, but I learned that the mother of the two, maybe our age, maybe a little older, she has done all of the Caminos, like inside of like the French way and the Norte way and all those stuff. Anyway, they were nice to talk to. It was kind of fun because I got to use some of my German, and always fun to make a joke in German with Germans, right? And then carrying it in, we bumped into two people who lived locally in this little town. Don't remember the name of it. But they had 4 dogs, and the 2 dogs pulling each one of them. And I think the dogs were winning, right? They were pulling her around. Mm-hmm. But she was really nice, and she offered to take us to her house to get us some water, right? And I said, well, we're only, a couple hundred meters from where we're going to stay, so thank you, but we're going to go right to our hotel. I was so ready to take a shower and get out of the clothes we were in. And fortunate for today, it never rained. So that was really nice. And I'm looking forward to going to bed. Probably the most thing on my mind right now is going to bed. It was a different hike today because we spent a lot of time apart. So it was kind of like Connie was on her hike and I was on my hike, and then we kind of gathered up at the end. But with that, I'll bring this to a close.